3, 2, 1.
Up and running, baby.
That should be good. All right. All right. So what I've got is that I just have a whole bunch of news in tabs, and I'm just gonna share it out like that. We're not gonna be too visual specific because it's all news articles. So I'll just be reading from that, but that way you can also read along with me as you see it. So, all right. Do you want to bring it in?
Oh yeah. All right, here we go.
Cool.
I sound normal, right?
Yeah.
I didn't check the mic on that shit. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, Scarlett. All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Welcome everybody. We back here at the Patreon wall, source wall, as it were. And guess who's here?
Yes, the source wall of Batman news, because that's what we're going to go over for this week's Patreon. Because we got a whole bunch in the backlog in terms of stuff we haven't talked about for news.
Shit.
So I guess we might as well go right into it with some stuff that was announced in August we never talked about. So one is that there's going to be an anime Catwoman movie. I don't know about you heard about this.
An anime. I think I read the headline.
Anime style flick called Catwoman Hunted, being lined up for an early 2022 release. Will star Dynasty actress Elizabeth Gillies as Selena Kyle. Follows Selena attempting to steal a priceless jewel that subsequently sees her being targeted by a swarm of DC supervillains, Interpol, and even Batwoman, voiced by Brooklyn Nine-Nine's Stephanie Beatrice. Among the lineup of baddies is Black Mask, voiced by Jonathan Banks, who's known as Mike in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. That's going to be a great voice.
Who does he play as?
For that, Mike, the old man, the bald old man. Well, the other bald old man who's not Walter White.
In this show.
Oh, he's Black Mask.
Oh, Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That's really good. He was Gordon in Arkham Knight. I don't know if it quite fit Gordon as much, but I'm looking forward to this. Julia Pennyworth, Alfred's daughter, is in this. She was reimagined as an Interpol secret agent type, and she's like that in the Batwoman show as well. But here, Julia, I guess, is going to make her animated debut. I don't think she's in other animated movies, but Julia Pennyworth is in this, voiced by Lauren Cohan, Martha Wayne herself from BVS.
That's cool.
But also more well-known for The Walking Dead. Other cast members, we got Stephen Blum as Solomon Grundy, Keith David as Tobias Whale. That is a get.
That's cool.
You know.
Spawn himself,
yeah. Zara Fazel as Talia al Ghul. I think she was Talia in that Death in the Family interactive movie we saw last year.
Okay.
And she's also Nosferatu. Yes. Jonathan Frakes. Jonathan Frakes is King Faraday. That's going to be interesting. Number Boss
2?
Moxie. Yep.
Oh shit.
Kirby Howell Baptiste as Barbara Minerva / Cheetah. So Cheetah's in this. Kelly Hu is in this because, again, if you have an Asian woman character, you've got to have Kelly Hu as the voice of her. So she's Cheshire. Andrew Kishino as Mr. Yakuza and Domino 6. Eric Lopez as Domino 1. I don't even know some of these at all. Jacqueline Obradors as La Dama. Ron Yuen as Dr. Zin. Or Sin. Weird. Okay. Scripts written by Young Justice's Greg Weisman, which is probably why some of these actors are from Young Justice. And sounds interesting. We'll see how it goes.
That's cool.
I don't think... There might have been an image released of what it looks like, but I can't seem to find it right now.
I don't remember seeing that at all. I would have remembered that.
I think. Wait, no.
Oh, there is one.
It is on the Hollywood Reporter one. She's got very chibi eyes on it. So interesting. But yeah, that is the Catwoman movie coming again 2022. It says early 2022. So we'll see on that.
That's cool.
In the meantime, in other news, Batwoman has Poison Ivy and Mad Hatter, it seems like, coming to season 3. They've cast television actress Bridget Regan as Poison Ivy for season 3 of it, so that should be interesting. Another new Poison Ivy in live action, so we'll check that out. And then Mad Hatter's apparently in it in the trailer they released today, and that's probably the first time he's been in... Oh, wait, no, he was in Gotham. I forgot that. I was going to say
he was in Smallville.
He was not in Smallville. He was in Gotham.
The one guy that's not in Smallville.
I was going to say that it's the first time we've seen him since the '60s show, but that's not quite accurate. He was played by Benedict Samuels in Gotham. But yeah,
okay.
So should be interesting to see. But it it looks like the general gist of it is at the end of season 2 of Batwoman, they had a whole bunch of the Rogues Gallery artifacts and their tools and stuff get sort of leaked out. And I guess certain Batman villains might not be okay with the fact that other criminals have it in, other people's hands. And one of those is probably Poison Ivy. And then I think the trailer also hinted we might get Killer Croc as well, which is going to be interesting if they can pull that off on a CW budget.
Yeah, the makeup is going to be a lot.
Yeah. So on to other news. I don't know if you heard about this, but Ethan Hawke is going to voice Batman in Batwheels.
I heard he was going to do it. I didn't know it was Batwheels. I guess I read half the headline. Oh, my God. That's funny. He said something recently about how, if you went back 50 or 60 years, it was all about cowboys, and now it's just all about Marvel. He said Marvel in his quote, I think.
Well, yeah, he's going to be
mainly Marvel, I guess. Yes,
he's going to be in Moon Knight. I think he's the villain in the Moon Knight.
Oh, that's right,
on Disney Plus. So that makes sense.
He always seemed like, because he took a while to come to a superhero movie franchise. I thought that he was going to be one of those dudes that's against it. Like,
yeah,
but
I guess it sounded like he was earlier on. I think there were some interviews beforehand, but
there's a few actors that are just straight up not into it. Like Jason Statham is not into superheroes.
I don't know if he has a leg to stand on. I'm like, dude, you're in B movies.
Yeah, he's said some shit about him. He hates him.
Yeah.
Christian Bale did say some shit about Marvel, but he said some very kind of circuitous British.
He's still in Thor 4,
but he's in Thor 4, so whatever. He said, I haven't seen the Marvel movies. I've heard they're very good. That's what. That's
fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And now he's in this one, so maybe he just had a mortgage he needed to pay off. So
not everybody's got to like him, man. And then who else? What other actor said they don't? Oh, he hadn't said anything, but Ryan Gosling has never been in one, and maybe they just haven't found one for him, or what. But yeah, he's in Blade Runner, of course. He's in like genre shit, but he's just not. Just hasn't been cast in anything. I mean, maybe I could see him being in like a Deadpool movie, or something. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I think Emily Blunt is the same as well. She's been on the record because everybody sort of has fan cast her and Krasinski as Reed Richards and Sue. And she's just like, it's not for me. And then Krasinski's like, hell yeah, I'm in. So
Krasinski's like, everybody wants him as Reed Richards.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah, I think he's kind of in.
I
don't know anything
she's
about
not so much, but
Blunt
I don't know if she. Yeah, I don't. They don't have to go with that route anyway, but those are the popular choices. And I think she's just like, whatever. But maybe if it's a cool enough take, maybe she's down for it. But I'm not super attached. Man. I'm not super attached to seeing her in a comic book movie or seeing the Fantastic Four. So I'm like, if it happens, cool. If not, which will likely be not, then it'll be fine.
Fantastic Four will be. I mean, I'll see it if it comes out of Disney. But even the power set in those, it's just like, well, I guess mainly it's the stretchiness of Reed Richards. I just find that power, that power, superpower, just not cool. I know it was revolutionary to comics. Stan Lee and did Kirby do Fantastic Four?
I think so.
Yeah, so they changed the game. I understand, but it's I don't know. It's hard to update, I think.
What about Elastigirl in Incredibles?
I still don't think
popular because of other reasons than the power set.
Yeah. Pixar, the way Pixar, was that DreamWorks? No, it's Pixar, right?
Pixar, yeah.
It was the whole Pixar moms thing's become a big meme online, like super Kirby. But I like those movies, but I still think that power set's just so awkward. Like Human Torch is such a cool power set. Invisibility is cool. Even the Thing is cool, the proto Hulk kind of character. But I mean, maybe they'll do awesome shit with it. I don't know, but it's just there's certain powers you're into more than others, right?
Yeah, I hear you. But I think it depends on how well they use them, and at the end of the day, it's sort of like, what's the best character for that? Like, you usually attach to the character more so than the power set. The power set's kind of just the extra flavoring.
Right. I
So
understand. I'm sure it'll be fine. I will
with
see.
Bat Wheels, we got Ethan Hawke as the voice of Batman. He finally gets to play the role because he did say that he turned down the role at some point in the 90s. I believe it was before Batman Forever. He said it was after Tim Burton. So
Oh,
he may
wow.
have been
They
up
offered
for
him.
it. So yeah. So he's the voice of Batman. And then we get Robin and Batgirl, but not the traditional Robin or Batgirl. As you notice in the promo that they released, Robin is African American.
Oh, cool.
Not because they're tying this into the Batman 89 comic where it's the Marlon Wayans Robin, but they're having it be the character of Duke Thomas, who in the comics is one of Batman's proteges, though he takes on the identity of the Signal. Here, Duke Thomas is now Robin instead. And
That's cool.
I mean, he basically looks like they put Damien's suit on a small black kid as opposed to give him the Signal stuff. But I think maybe they're just going for recognizability of the certain characters. They're just like let's give him, like, everyone knows Robin, so let's just have Robin, but spice it up with Duke instead. So
he gave us the signal.
Yeah. Bat Wheels did not give us the Signal, unfortunately. It would have been cool, I guess, if they just stuck with him being the Signal, but I guess they had other plans in mind. And then we get Batgirl. Even though she's in the yellow and purple, she is not Barbara Gordon either. She's Cassandra Cain.
Okay.
So we got an Asian Batgirl and a Black Robin, and that's just the humans. Let's take a look at who we got for the Bat Wheels team. So
this looks exactly like the fucking Cars guy.
It does, I know. Let's read off.
What's his name? Ace McWheely or some shit? I forget his name.
Lightning McQueen.
Ace McWheely, bro. That's his new name, man.
All right, so Bam is the Batmobile and the leader of the Batwheels team. He's going to be voiced by Jacob Bertrand, who we know as Hawk in Cobra Kai.
Oh, cool. Oh, so, really? That guy? I'm glad
his career's taking
off. Yeah. I'm glad his career's taking off, though, man.
Yeah. He says that he has a strong sense of justice and tries his best to lead the team, even though he's not always sure he's up to the task. Ultimately, the other Batwheels know they can count on him, both as a super teammate and as a friend. Then we get Jordan Reed as Redbird, Robin's zippy sports car. That's the one that looks like Lightning McQueen from Cars.
Redbird.
Red is the kid brother of the team, always eager to prove himself, a worthy sidekick to Bam, but he can hold his own on his mission. I don't get why don't they just call him Batmobile and Redbird? Why is it Bam and Red? But okay, I guess.
Bam?
It's Bam instead of Batmobile. Why don't you just call him Batmobile? It's fine.
I guess they wanted something quicker to say. I don't know.
Or they can call him Bats or something. I don't know. Anyway, we get Madigan Kakmar as BB, Batgirl's brave and bold motorcycle, is the fastest of the Batwheels, but also the smallest, so she sometimes has a habit of being impulsive and jumping right into the action without a plan. It makes sense in terms of the coloring. She's got purple, just like Batgirl has a purple suit. So There we go. And now we have a monster truck. We have a monster truck Batmobile. Okay, so
this reminds me of one of our earliest sketches, y'all.
They took it from us.
The Bat Truck sketch way back in the day.
Should I take the Bat Truck?
So that is one of my personal favorite sketches.
Yeah.
It is really funny.
Yeah. Noah Bentley is Buff. His name is Buff. This Bat-styled
Bam and Buff.
Bam and Buff. Monster truck is the team's muscle, and of course can ram through or run over any obstacle in his path. But he's also the heart of the team. Wait, who's driving this? If you've got Batman in the Batmobile, Robin in the Redbird, and Batgirl's on the motorcycle, who's driving the monster truck with them? Alfred?
That would be Lucius, of course. I don't know.
I saved the best one for me, Mr. Wayne. The big one goes to me.
The way Michael Caine says Lucius in Batman Begins is so good. I love the way he says it, man.
So we got Buff, we got Lilimar as Batwing, Batman's supersonic jet plane.
Woo,
Wing is easily the most sophisticated and confident member of the team. We also have Kimberly Brooks as the Batcomputer voice. The supervisor, dispatcher, and trainer of the team is also their mother figure. Oh, okay. So they kind of did the person in the chair trope, but this time it's the Batcomputer, which makes a lot of sense. That is literally the one in the Batcave.
Anthropomorphizing everything. So yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And then we have Mick Wingert, currently voicing Tony Stark with a really good Robert Downey Jr. impression on Disney Plus's What If, because there's no way they could get Robert Downey Jr. to do the voice of that.
Man. He's done. Why pay him anymore anyway? He's a literal billionaire, right?
So it also makes sense too that they wouldn't continue with some, because certain stars have not come back to do the voices on that, and those are like the actors who are kind of done with their characters anyway. Like Scarlett Johansson's not back on it; they got someone else to do it. But
I
I'm
don't
like,
know if
makes
Scarlett's
sense.
coming back, bro. Scarlett may be done.
Maybe, yeah.
She could be Black Widow got blacklisted.
There's a reason you've been replaced by Florence Pugh.
Dude, honestly, maybe for the best.
Maybe for the best, yeah. So
She
Mick
was
Wingert
so likable.
is the voice of Mo, who is Batman's robot repairman who facilitates repairs and upkeep on his fleet of vehicles. This is not a character from the comics.
He better be like Mo Sislak from fucking Simpsons,
Bam
the bartender guy.
occasionally calls him for prank calls and stuff.
yeah, exactly. So let's take a look real quick. Again, I want to judge.
Okay, so I'm showing the promo
Yeah.
pictures to Andrew right now on that.
Yeah.
So
go to cbr.com and just search cbr.com Batwheels and you'll find these images. Okay, if you want to look at this, if you're a podcast listener, well, I'm sure you are. Okay, so most of you are. So audio only, I mean.
Mhm.
So yeah, the bat wing has like drone like wings, you know, like little fan turbines on the wing itself. That's cool. And then honestly, I think my favorites are the monster truck and the bat wing. What about you?
I do like that the Batmobile looks like the 89 Batmobile.
Right.
Obviously more kid friendly, you know,
Yes,
with the
of
eyes
course.
and stuff. So yeah, I'd say that one. The monster truck's going to be interesting because that's not something, unless these guys aren't going to reference the Colt, but if they do, I'm going to have to watch the show because the Colt is when Batman was in this monster truck type tank thing to take down Deacon Blackfire's cult members. It's way too dark for a kid-friendly audience, but if they have some reference to that, I might have to check this out. So the monster truck, the Batmobile, I think Redbird looks way too much like Lightning McQueen.
Way too much.
Like Redbird in the Batman and Robin movie was a motorcycle. They could have just had Robin and Batgirl on motorcycles, and then you've got the two motorcycles, and they've got a romance, you know, like something like that.
Yeah. I will say though, I mean, it's obvious what they're doing here. It's Batman meets cars, but like little kids not gonna give a shit. And fucking like it's cool. You can make toys out of this easily. And you know, it's another like non-super dark Batman thing. So yeah, this on a producer level, it's just if I was producing, yes, definite stamp. This is a definite stamp of approval. Yeah.
Gets you that action figure merchandise, and then you have an opportunity to showcase some of the lesser known comic book characters with Duke Thomas and Cassandra Cain. So seems pretty cool for the kids audience. I don't know if I'm going to check it out. I know that I said that I'm the man who knows too much about Batman, I should watch everything, but this one I'm like, this one might be a little too
getting a little bit overload. You know,
it's
like
a little much for me to watch right now.
Yeah, you know what, Ben? I will at least watch the first episode of this.
I think we will. Yeah, we'll at least watch it, and then maybe
intrigued.
check it out on the Patreon. We'll let you guys know what we think.
I want to see how much they rip off Cars. And I want to. I don't know, man.
Life is a highway in the background.
It's kind of a dumb idea, but then again, we're grown ass men talking about it. Who cares?
I know, yeah.
But like, I already have HBO Max, dude. Like, I'm gonna check out one episode at least.
Yeah. And then it's like I hate to complain about any Bat property right now because of just how spoiled we are. We've already talked about a Batman animated film, a Batwoman TV show. We've got this. We've also got Titans, even though I'm not a huge fan of it, but like it at least exists, you know.
Right.
And I haven't even talked about the movies. And then we got a comic book continuation of Batman '89. I'm like, we're feasting on all this type of stuff. So it's like I can't really complain about them. But at a certain point, it's like if there's so much, I kind of have to start filtering out at some point.
I mean, it's definitely like more overload than we ever thought. I mean, remember back in the day, and when you would read Wizard magazine, it would be like, what would happen if they made an X-Men movie? You know, like, well, we could just dream of the day. And now look at us, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're absolutely drowning in this stuff.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. I mean, I like it. But I used to be like, when people said I have superhero fatigue, I'd be like, fuck you. And now I'm like, I don't have it as much as some people, obviously, because it's my shit. But like if somebody says they have superhero fatigue, I get it. You know,
Yeah, me
it's
too.
been like
I get it,
15
yeah.
straight years of this shit.
Doesn't look like it's dying down anytime soon.
No, it's not.
Let's go into some other interesting things that are going on. We have a Spotify podcast called Batman Unburied that's coming up, which is different from another podcast I'm going to talk about a little later on this. That with my glowing review of that. Now, this is the Spotify Batman podcast from David Goyer. Batman
Alrighty.
Unburied with Winston Duke as the voice of Batman.
Cool. Yeah.
And
Winston Duke, if you
M'Baku.
don't know,
Yeah.
M'Baku, everybody, he was my favorite. Him and Shuri.
Yeah.
As we've said many times before, everybody's really interesting except for Black Panther in that show, especially M'Baku and Shuri.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We also have Jason Isaacs as Alfred. Jason Isaacs is in a whole bunch of stuff we talked about, but he was Ra's al Ghul in Under the Red Hood, and is Captain. I think his name is Lorca in Star Trek Discovery. So he's in a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah,
the screen presence in Star Trek Discovery is insane.
Oh, he's a great actor. Yeah,
as Lorca. Yeah, he's just that first season of Discovery. I'm thinking he's in the first or at least the second. I've seen them all and I get confused looking back, but I'm sure some of our audience has seen that show. And Lorca, Jason Isaacs is great. He should be in all kinds of shit.
Yep. So he's the voice of Alfred in this podcast. And here's the logline. And this seems like a reimagining of the Batman lore. So the logline says, when audiences meet Bruce Wayne, he is a forensic pathologist working in the bowels of Gotham Hospital. So that's already a twist on it. Wow. Tasked with examining the victims of the Harvester, a gruesome serial killer preying on Gotham citizens. Not only will the superhero be forced to face his own mental demons, but he will also have to overcome them in order to save the citizens of Gotham as his alter ego, Batman. So a very interesting twist on Bruce Wayne. He's a forensic pathologist working in a hospital. He might not even be rich.
Maybe not. That's cool though. It's still, if he's a forensic, if he's in forensics, that connects with detective shit already.
Yeah.
And it seems like, since true crime is like the biggest thing in the podcast world, this is probably them trying to marry those two ideas. So sure, why not? It's a podcast,
right.
Like fucking whatever.
We also have other cast members. Hassan Minhaj is going to be the voice of the Riddler in this. So that's interesting. Lance Reddick is the voice of Thomas Wayne. I'm going to butcher this. Tox Alagundoye is Martha Wayne. So this is interesting. The Waynes are all voiced by African or African-American actors.
That's cool.
So I'm wondering if he's meant to be black in the actual story too.
It seems like it. It does. Yeah. I mean, if you got his whole family as black, then yeah, that's probably the case then.
Because you're already changing stuff with him being a forensic pathologist. So like just changing his ethnicity is a very small change in comparison to his entire occupation and day job.
I mean, Mark Bernardin, black co-host of Batman Beyond podcast or Fat Man Beyond, he's been on record, I think several times where he says that he wants to see a black Superman. He wants to see all kinds of black characters, wants representation, of course. But he said something about Batman doesn't work as well because of sadly, the old money thing. This just doesn't represent black culture that well. So if they change the old money aspect of the Waynes,
which they might with this,
is what it seems. It's what this seems like they're doing. So yeah. I mean, you could have a fucking like African. I mean, it's sad that there are not that many, African families with old money. But if you went the whole like, African royalty kind of thing, like what was it, Coming to America or whatever, or I don't know, man. I mean, maybe that's getting stereotypical at that point, but whatever. It's cool. This is cool. It sounds good to me. I'll probably listen to at least the first episode of this too.
Yeah. You've also got the idea that Thomas Wayne, maybe if he's still a doctor, maybe that's why Bruce is on this path, because forensic pathology has some sort of connection with, the medical world as well. So that could be a tie-in. You've also got John Rhys Davies in this as the voice of Dr. Hunter, better known as Sala in the Indiana Jones movies and Gimli in the Lord of the Rings movies. Bruce, you
He
have
looks-
my axe.
He looks totally different in real life, man.
Yeah.
They shrunk him too, right? They didn't even get it.
Yeah, he's like the biggest of those cast members, and they shrunk him
Yeah.
for the.
It's fucking wild, man. Peter, I think about this often. Well, not well, every now and again because it shows up on TikTok all the time.
Mm.
But like Lord of the Rings, man, that was such a fucking accomplishment, man. Not Peter David.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, man. Oh my God, what an accomplishment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Last cast member is Ashley Birch as Vicky Vale. So it's going to be interesting. I don't see a release date on when this is coming. Let me scroll down through in this. No release date has been set for the series, according to the Hollywood Reporter article that I'm looking at. So
Cool.
going to be interesting. Looking forward to that one. Now we have a whole bunch of news related to the Batman, starting with there's going to be a Penguin spinoff. Apparently, there's going to be a spinoff as announced on September 13th.
Let us address a rumor about this movie. So as I don't know if you or I frequent DCEU leaks more, probably me, but there was this rumor going around that they don't like the Batman, the producers don't.
Mhm.
It's not doing well, it's too weird, or this and that, blah 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 blah. And then we start getting all the spin-off news. It's like, obviously, they're not gonna fucking make 2 fucking spin-offs of a movie they hate.
Yeah.
So
Look how much the Snyder Cut's been buried just because of the Snyder, political stuff that they've got between Warner Brothers versus Snyder. If they don't like this, they would make it very well known.
Yeah, exactly. So there's something going on there. I mean, nothing going on rather, because they obviously like it. So this is awesome.
So a Penguin show is potentially in the works. It says it's being executive produced by the Batman duo of Dylan Clark and Matt Reeves himself. It says that the potential showrunner is Lauren LaFranc from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that'd be interesting. We've got a female showrunner
Cool.
on a very obviously male-centric character, usually male-centric world. Is described as a Scarface-like series about the rise of the Penguin character, and it's unknown whether this is actually going to be a prequel to the Batman or if it takes place after the Batman, because who knows what happens in that movie, and then he maybe has a further rise. We do have Carmine Falcone in this movie, so it's a possibility Falcone gets, Penguin usurps the throne type of thing, and we get him to continue in this series, or this is about how he rises up from the beginning. But
I hope that Falcone, I know we're talking about Penguin now, but I hope that fucking what's the guy playing him? He's from
John Turturro.
John Turturro, yeah. I hope he has some gangster-ash scene.
I hope so
movie.
too.
I hope he makes you like fucking shudder in your seat. I hope it's so fucking gangster, it's unbelievable.
I'm actually really looking forward to his Falcone because of the fact that it's going to be the first time in live action that we have an actual Italian actor playing him.
Oh yeah.
So there's that fact.
True.
And then from the set photos, it looks like he does have the mustache and the scars on his cheek. So they're just like, they made him look like he does in the comics.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
They're doing a great job.
Apparently some Gotham fans are not happy about this, saying that they're just trying to repeat that. And I understand that, because I think you brought that up to me offline too. We're just like, isn't that what they did in Gotham? I'm like, yeah, but this time he's fat the whole time. Honestly, I don't know.
Gotham really had a great first few episodes of the season with the Penguin kind of coming up.
Yeah.
Really,
I think that
the writers liked this character. It seemed
they did. So I think they could. It's just like how Batman Begins is a different type of origin movie from Mask of the Phantasm. But this Penguin show is going to be very different from the Gotham one. I personally think that there's definitely room for other interpretations of the origin of Penguin's rise in the mob without really doing the same stuff that Gotham did. I mean, if one of the big criticisms I had in terms of Gotham's version of Penguin is that they never actually went into his love of birds. They never really went into the umbrella having weapons in it.
Right.
He did have an umbrella, but they never had him like put like a gun. He never had an umbrella gun or an umbrella blade or any of that type of stuff. I'm just like, you had like 5 seasons. You never wanted to explain that at all at any point.
Yeah. And the what do you call it? Bulletproof umbrella kind of, shield thing too.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a cool scene.
Yeah, all that type of stuff. I mean, I did try to write that into my own Gotham spec where I have him getting the umbrella gun in that one. But obviously, the show itself, I thought at some point the show would totally do it, and they never did. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know if we haven't seen Penguin with an umbrella in any of the Batman trailer footage, but that trailer footage is deliberately meant to not show you that much anyway, and I'm glad for it. So hopefully, Reeves being the Batman fan that he is, there is going to be some more traditional Penguin elements that we see, and then this series will sort of help maybe explain that, or the movie itself will explain that. We'll see.
Reeves is going to make, I mean, it's going to be amazing. And like, he's behind the Caped Crusader thing too, right?
That too, yeah. The Caped Crusader animated series. So technically this plus the Gotham PD and Caped Crusader is they gave Reeves 3 Batman properties to work on, and you're telling me that they don't like this movie? They don't like what he's doing with Batman?
That's the thing. And like, what does Reeves choose to do with Batman and animated? He makes it crime noir thing called the Caped Crusader.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is his take. That's like the best fucking take you can make, really, right? And I know we had that with the 90s series, but like, I feel like they're going to go even further into like detective crime noir shit since it's on HBO Max.
It looks like it's going to be kind of a throwback to the 1939 comics based off of that promo image that they had. But again, we're just talking out of our asses here. We don't know. We just have one image and the news, and that's it. So we'll see what happens. We're probably not going to end up seeing it until well after the Batman.
Oh yeah, animation takes a while, but it just shows you like where his interests lie. I mean, just look at all that he's producing with this stuff. I mean, we give Warner Brothers shit all the time, but they really picked the right guy for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
All right, so there's that, and then Matt Reeves also gave us a little bit of a preview on Batman Day.
Woo!
So we have a new picture of him with the grappling gun. And it honestly kind of looked a little bit like, I know some Snyder fans have jumped on it, but it kind of honestly looked like a Batfleck picture when I first saw this until I realized it was Matt Reeves tweeting this.
Yeah. Forgive my memory as usual, but the Dark Knight trilogy, he had a grappling hook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like this is not something obviously this is not something new to the Batman movies, is the grappling hook. We've had it since Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale.
This is just Affleck. New. This was not in the trailer for the Batman. So this is exactly. This is just a little frame tease here.
Mm-hmm. And we even knew he had it because at one point he's like going up the bat line, towards the end of that trailer too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
But this definitely is new to us. So we haven't seen this before. I do like the look of the grappling gun. It looks like it's a little smaller, a little less, like both Bale and Affleck, arguably Keaton, but Bale and Affleck had these huge like gun looking things that they whipped out for the grappling gun. And then this looks a lot smaller, a little bit more appropriate for rookie Batman. Okay. And I don't know. I like the image. It's just one image at the end of the day anyway. So
it's cool. His face is obscured, but or it's out of focus, but yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then Michael Giacchino gave a little bit more of a preview of the theme, which wasn't really that different from what we've heard. It's the same theme. It was just a different arrangement of the same melody, but it sounded pretty cool. It sounded, it was more of the whole orchestra as opposed to the like piano one that was heard when we first saw Pattinson in the suit, or the one that was remixed with the Nirvana song in the trailer.
Oh, right.
So that was it for Batman Day. And then it's not the only Batman movie coming out next year. We also had Andy Muschietti gave a little bit of a weird ass preview for what was going on in the hold on a second.
Yep.
In the Flash. And there we go. This is a weird image of the Flash symbol painted over what looks like the Batman suit that's been painted red.
Yeah.
And there's no caption. On this? I mean, part of it is just like, all right, obviously this is something for Batman Day that he did, but I can see why other people are saying that this could be a hint at Red Death. I don't know if you've heard about this theory.
What is this? I've heard. I might have read Red Death. I read it still online constantly all day, so I forget some things. But What is it again?
So Red Death, you know how there's the Batman Who Laughs, who's like Batman mixed with Joker?
Yeah.
Red Death is like an evil Batman mixed with Flash.
I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, that's amazing. The thing is, okay. I mean, that's possible. You think that's that what you
I'm
lean
not saying
towards?
I'm not 100% on it. I think, okay, first off, I think this is just a Batman Day promo image, because otherwise, if that was the idea, why would he spoil it like this? You know, if he's holding it close to the vest, why would he spoil it this way?
That's not the case.
I think yes, I don't think so.
My take on this is it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's just a Batman Day thing.
They just said it's just a little quick promo image that they could put up to be like, hey, Flash movie's still coming too, and there's a Batman in it. You know,
pretty much.
This is not a story tease. A lot of fans like to read into stuff, but I really don't think this is one of them.
Yeah, no. I think the only evidence that there could be some sort of Red Death thing is the idea that we have not gotten any casting for a villain. We don't know who the Flash villain is,
man.
Which implies that there's some sort of secret villain that they've cast that we just miraculously don't know about, or the villain is somebody who we already know is part of the cast.
Okay.
Potentially playing another character.
Leaks. DCEU Leaks is also saying, well, they're saying, of course, it's probably bullshit because who knows? No one's seen this shit except for the director and some producers, but they're saying that like it's incredible. They say it's an awesome movie. So I don't know.
Hopefully,
hopefully that's the case. Yeah,
you got both Keaton and Affleck back. Plus, you've got the debut of Supergirl in this continuity and the Flash in his own movie for the first time. So there's a lot of stuff.
Flash is in this movie. Also,
remember him, guys?
Yeah, sort of. Yes.
Also, Tom Holland is in No Way Home.
Oh,
outside
of
all the other people who were part of that. So yeah, similar thing. All right. So one of the Batman Day things that debuted was something that I was really interested in, which was the Batman Audio Adventures, and that's what we're gonna jump into here. So the Batman Audio Adventures is a 10-episode podcast on HBO Max. And it's interesting because I didn't associate HBO Max with having podcasts.
It's so weird. It's like, I mean, I know podcasts are big these days, but why wouldn't you just put it on Spotify with ad space? You know, like
I don't know. I mean,
I guess it's fine if people leave HBO Max open while they're doing housework and shit, but yeah, it's just weird, I think.
Yeah. So it's interesting. They have each episode with a background that sort of moves around. So it has this sort of image of this bat radio, because they're trying to evoke like the old radio adventures, like the Superman radio show that we talked about. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. And then they have a hell of a cast for this. So it's Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon in the Batman, but if Jeffrey Wright is Batman in this.
Yeah.
We got Brent Spiner, Data himself, as Joker.
It's kind of cool.
Bobby Moynihan from SNL as Penguin. Heidi Gardner, also from SNL, as Harley Quinn and Miss Tuesday, who's the henchwoman to the Riddler. Alan Tudyk is Alfred. Alan Tudyk is the voice of Joker in the Harley Quinn show. Brooke Shields as Vicky Vale. I don't know how they got her.
That's crazy.
Melissa Villasenor as Robin, another SNL actress. Seth Meyers is Jack Ryder. Jason Sudeikis is Mayor Hill, who is actually the highlight, by the way.
Yeah.
Not to jump too far into my review yet, but he's great in this. I'm just like, this is really weird. Paul Scheer is Charlie Horse, who is the henchman to Joker. Fred Armisen is Armisen is King Scimitar. Tim Meadows, another SNL alum, is Jeremiah Arkham, and Ray Wise is a whole bunch of announcers throughout. So I'm just like, this is an amazing cast. And then it's like, they obviously have some SNL talent in here, and it's written and directed by an SNL screenwriter, Dennis McNicholas, in this. So I'm just like, okay, so this seems like this could be a mix of like old school like radio, but for Batman, with like some comedy in it.
Yeah.
And like, obviously this type of stuff is my shit, because not only is it Batman, but it's also like radio audio stuff. I listen to that type of shit all the time. I cover the Superman radio thing. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this sounds like this could be great. And then they launch all 10 episodes on HBO Max, and it's really weird, like starting it and wondering when it's going to get funny.
Are they trying to be funny?
It doesn't even seem like they're trying to be funny either. It's weirdly like we have all these comedy actors, but guess what? It's a regular drama. But then if it's a regular drama, why is nothing that interesting happening? I mean, there's not really a story to this. It's a whole bunch of like separate different things that happen with the villains, and all the villains have plans, and Batman has to stop all of them, and that's about it. But there's no character growth in that. And there's not really, it doesn't seem like there's much of a point to the stories.
Right.
Stuff just kind of happens. And that's what makes it most disappointing, is that this is like, it has an amazing cast, but the writing just it's just kind of shit in this. Like, there's no, it's not that funny.
Man.
Because I just thought, like, what if it's an audio thing with the Harley Quinn show tone? That would be amazing too, especially with this cast too. Like, they can all pull it off. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Rosario Dawson is Catwoman, and John Leguizamo is the Riddler.
Oh, that's great. Leguizamo.
Yeah.
I would almost like switch Leguizamo and Brent Spiner.
I know, right? Yeah. No, that's what they should have done, honestly. Brent Spiner did voice the Joker in Young Justice, and he voices Joker here. And funny enough, he sounds like Jared Leto as the Joker. Really? It's weird.
He's maybe going for that, I guess. I don't know.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the Joker has some interesting moments in here, but Leguizamo's Riddler, he's a great pick for this world. Their Riddler is the usual shit about you're just a ripoff of Joker, you're a C-lister, that type of stuff. And he's
They're going that shit again?
They're doing that shit again in this, the stuff that we complained about in the Hush thing. God, they went for that so again. Annoying. And they're trying to like make him funny in terms of how like incompetent he is, and like that does work for the Batman newspaper strip that we're covering next week with John, that people haven't seen yet, but we'll see next week. That was funny there, but here it's just like I'm just tired of that take. Like, right. I think this is going to be the last of the whole Riddler's a C-lister take before Matt Reeves' The Batman comes out, and basically, I predict Paul Dano is going to be doing another Heath Ledger Joker thing with this Riddler. It's like suddenly people are going to like sit up and take Riddler a lot seriously after that movie.
I would like to think so. Yes.
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best villain performance does not actually come from Leguizamo as Riddler or Brent Spiner as the Joker. It actually comes from Bobby Moynihan as the Penguin.
Oh, really? That's cool. Moynihan's great.
Cool, yeah. Which is interesting. It sort of reminded me of how DeVito steps into the Penguin in Returns, and isn't like, he's funny when it's meant to be funny, but he also plays it like it's supposed to be played in it. And Moynihan's Penguin is very much in character with the Penguin. He definitely feels like a threat and stuff. And I wasn't really expecting that, because I just thought they were going to do another comedic, type of thing in that. Yeah. So that was cool. We also have Ike Barinholtz as Two-Face. Ike Barinholtz was in Suicide Squad as the prison guard who gets basically kidnapped by the Joker, and Jared Leto has that whole all that chit chat's gonna get you hurt scene with him. So they cast him as Two-Face, and it's kind of really weird. It doesn't really work. He's a guy who talks to himself a lot, which is par for the course with Two-Face. There's something interesting about him really knowing all the laws in Gotham, including all the obscure ones, and that's how he sort of tries to screw over his rival Penguin on it. So I'm like, I like that take. Okay. But they go way over the top with his obsession with the number 2.
Okay.
Like, he at one point, Catwoman orders like a 4-cheese pizza and a dozen this or that, and he just basically has a whole breakdown because he's using numbers that aren't 2. And I'm like, this is not very funny. This is just really weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not selling this to me.
Well, yeah, no, because it's not that. It's 10. I don't know how you can do 10 episodes and not make it this interesting. Like,
did you listen to all of them?
I finished listening to all of them because it's easy to put this type of stuff in the background as I'm working.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So after an 8-hour shift, you easily can go over like 8 to 9 episodes, and it's a 10-episode thing. So it's easy to just knock this out if you have the type of job where you can just listen to stuff in the background.
So there's just not much plot or character development.
And there's not much humor either. And I'm like, how do you waste this guy? Like, the funniest is Mayor Hill.
That's funny, man. Sudeikis
Yeah.
is killing it, dude.
Sudeikis as Mayor Hills. I'm like, this is the state of this project when Mayor Hill is one of the best parts.
He
The
won.
fucking mayor is the best part.
He and all of Ted Lasso like had a Emmy sweep last night. By the way,
I heard. Yeah, I haven't seen the
Yeah.
show, but I heard great things on it. But
yeah, it's good.
his Mayor Hill is still corrupt, like in the original comics, but he's also like he has basically the main jokes in the show where
His
he's
jokes
like,
are funny.
yeah, and it actually has funny moments where he's announcing the bat signal and how Batman's been deputized, and he's just like, really, this is how I'm the mayor, and this is how the city is these days. We're just gonna let this guy be deputized by the police. Like he calls this
Right.
type of stuff out. I'm like,
Right,
okay,
right,
that's
right.
kind of cool that they're addressing that, but then they also try to mix it with like real Batman drama shit, and I'm like, the combination just doesn't really work. And it's like you could do something where it's a comedic Batman thing. I have no problems with a comedic Batman thing, obviously with the Harley Quinn show, but it actually has to be funny. And then
Right,
I have no problems with you taking a whole bunch of comedians and actually putting them into serious Batman drama. But the drama also has to be interesting. Like it has to do something
Right.
interesting with the characters. There is one really interesting thing that they do with Batman, which is that at one point he says that he microdoses with Scarecrow's fear toxin before he goes to sleep to deliberately give himself nightmares and give him the psychological training to cope with potential tragic futures that he has nightmares about. And I'm like,
crazy, man.
I'm like, that is crazy. Maybe they were trying to be funny with that, but I actually really love that.
Yeah, this is like this is a preview for an episode coming up, but meditating to. Oh no, we already had this Patreon about it, right?
Yeah, that last week.
Yeah, meditating to the sound of gunshots.
The gunshots was my idea, and then this thing comes out. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, this is close to what I talked about.
Similar. That's a similar idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So masochistic, but I mean,
Mhm.
we're normal people saying that, and Batman's not normal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense because he's like, if I'm going to sleep, I might as well make that useful and make that practical.
It's got to be doing something for me, other than regenerating my whole body.
That's not as important. Scarecrow training.
Dude, Kevin Smith says he only sleeps 4 hours a night because Batman only sleeps 4 hours a
I don't
night.
think that's healthy.
It's not healthy.
Kevin, this is a fictional character. You can
Yeah.
have him not sleep for like a week and it's okay. But when you actually are a human being and you don't sleep, that's not healthy at all. That's dangerous.
That's dangerous. You don't. Some people might not need the full 8 hours that people say.
Mhm.
You know, like this is generality, but I mean, I find personally that I need the 8 for
Mhm.
sure. You get 8 hours generally?
I get closer to 7 or 8. It depends on.
Okay.
Sometimes it depends on the time of year. I have trouble staying asleep during the summer just due to the heat.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Just
Can't
wake up in
wait
the
till it
middle.
gets colder.
Yeah, you just wake up at like 6 a.m. and you're just like, you're not really awake. You're just like, but you can't go back to sleep. So it's this weird limbo period. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sucks. But I mean, this again, it's like there's clearly a love for this Batman world from this because there's a lot of references to stuff. They even reference Frenchie Blake. Frenchie Blake is the second Batman villain of all time, way back in Bill Finger era. And I'm like, oh, that's impressive because nobody talks about Frenchie Blake. But I just
Cool.
wish that it was in a better show. Like it's if they do another season of this, I hope it's another writer. Sorry, Mr. McNicholas, but this was just not that great. This is not good.
Yeah.
I'm glad this was not an actual animated series because then I would have had to have sat and watched as opposed to this one where I can just listen when I'm like washing the dishes and stuff.
If it's an audio thing too, like really go crazy with it, even crazier. Like the whole, like the forensic medical thing and the other one. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, do something else. You know, do something complete. Maybe Warner Brothers is not allowing shit like that as much, but they should allow it.
I don't know, but this was kind of a major disappointment, especially for how long it is and the amount of talent they put to it. So it's unfortunate, but anyway, if anyone else happened to listen to it, let us know in the comments what you thought. But personally, I was not impressed. So apparently, I did find I think it was an old convention appearance in 2019 with Brent Spiner, where he said that he worked on this. So this has been in the works since 2019.
Okay.
which is kind of wild because you would have thought that this was something that they probably did during the pandemic because it's all audio. They can just all record
Right.
it,
That's true.
But it was all way before that. And according to him at that time, it was going to be Tina Fey as Catwoman, not Rosario Dawson. I think Dawson's a much better fit. But if you're doing a comedic take, I get, having Fey in it. And it was going to be John Mulaney as the voice of the Riddler at the time, which I think is probably better casting than Leguizamo. But
yeah, it's not a bad. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I could see him even in live action.
Yeah.
Being a Riddler.
The cast is amazing. It's a great cast. You don't really give them that much material in this one. It's really a letdown.
Yeah, I could see that. It just feels like, especially after your review, it's not going to be anybody's favorite Batman thing.
Yeah, and I don't think I really had any expectations in terms of this being like the definitive audio Batman type of thing, but it could have at least been some sort of interesting thing that I enjoyed coming to, or would say like, hey, I really recommend this. You guys should check this out.
Right.
Thing, and hear all the different character insights or cool things they do with the characters, and instead it was just kind of a lot of the same.
Right.
So that is pretty much the roundup on the Batman stuff, but not the end of the episode, because we do have a comment from the Theology of the DC Universe. I don't know if you saw this.
I did see this. Yes. Totally read this one.
This is from Jeffrey commenting on this. I had a feeling that he would comment on this one. Jeffrey said, "You did it, you crazy sons of bitches. You finally did it. That was a hell of a show."
That's cool, man.
You are right here. It's the high dollar business of American churchianity. The other countries do view religion in a more tolerant and liberal way. I mean, hell, I live in Texas, so say no more. I almost walked away from my theology degree recently. I watched my gay daughter and her kind-hearted trans girlfriend being treated awful in 21st century Texas by the quote-unquote Christian community. Very sorry to hear that. But then I discovered Lutheran pastor Megan Rohrer, a trans pastor out of San Francisco. They are amazing, and they prove not all heroes wear capes. They made me realize the theology community needs more LGBTQ allies in order to change the tide and give up some of this dark age thinking. Anyway, this comment kind of derailed into my origin story. Jeff, 0 year. Stellar show, as always, gentlemen. So
that's awesome.
This is awesome. Thanks a lot, Jeffrey, for this. Sorry to hear about what was going on with your daughter, but it sounds like they, all found a much better community, or at least some support group from that, because it's not supposed to be like that. Unfortunately, like a lot of, as we've talked about, a lot of religion has been sort of used as an excuse for bigotry, and it's a shame to see that. But that's kind of where we're at these days for a large sect of people doing. Obviously, not everybody, but a large sect of people doing that. So, sorry, I had to go through that.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I want to hear more about Jeff 0 year now. Sounds like it was full of some drama.
Yes,
and we all like juicy stories. So if you feel like you are okay with sharing more, please do. If you want.
We might be seeing Jeffrey as well in the $10 Patreon. So that's going to premiere the night of the release of this episode, actually.
That's right. So he'll have, he might, if he hops on it as soon as he can, then he will have already listened to it.
Yes.
That's cool.
So we'll get to hear about that. But for anybody who's new to the $5 tier and doesn't know what the $10 tier is, that is kind of our once a month live show. You can join in if you happen to be in the right time zone. But if you're not able to join in on the show, then we'll give you the unlisted YouTube recording link of what went down. And we're essentially just having fun reacting to a lot of stuff. And this month's discussion is on ranking the different Batmen in live action in terms of their fighting ability. There's all these sorts of ranking videos of like who's the best Batman, who's the best Bruce Wayne. But I think that, if we are truly the deep divers that we are, we're going to go and do it by certain characteristics. So we're going to do this one by fighting ability, not just in terms of general stuff. Because I personally feel like there are certain Batmen who are stronger in certain aspects than others. And there's not really somebody who is definitively great in all of those things.
Best Batman roundhouse kicks. Going to get more granular as time goes on. Best haymaker.
The best haymakers probably all go to the early ones. Best kicks do not go to any of the ones in the four. I think Adam West is the first Batman to actually kick somebody.
That, I mean,
I might be wrong
that was
on
from
that.
a time where people thought kicking was fighting dirty. Remember that? Well, we weren't even alive at that time, but
Mhm,
from what I gather about the previous age, it was like spitting in someone's eye or something. It was so dirty.
mhm.
But now it's like,
Such a normal
MMA
thing.
is taken
Yeah,
over, and yeah, street fights are obviously crazier than ever. But yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
we will check that out. I'm not sure yet what the one next month is going to be. I have certain ideas, but I'll be sure to let you guys know here if anybody is thinking of upgrading to the $10 tier or already is part of the $10 tiers and up and want to be part of the next month stuff. So that's what we got on the docket.
Nice, man. Great news tutelage this time around once again. I think I enjoy the Batwheels stuff the most because I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't even seen those photos for some reason. So,
Mhm.
and I was pretty much aware of at least a good bit of the rest of it, especially the Batman and the Flash stuff.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they really got to change that Lightning McQueen, Ace McWheely guy.
Ace McWheely.
Ace McWheely, dude, that's free. I give that to HBO Max.
Like they even
For
have
free.
a race car thing in the back. I'm like, why? They just forgot to change it. They're like, same shit.
Oh man, and
At least
they
put
have
some green in.
planes too. Remember that? There was a movie called Planes.
Oh yeah,
The world above cars.
I think it was Dane Cook.
Dane Cook was a fucking voice, yes, and
Yes,
oh god. I actually worked on the Blu-ray for that, I think. It was terrible.
I might have too. Yeah,
It was bad.
yeah.
Like Cars is like it's not good, but I see why people like it. I see
Mhm.
why this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Planes was just like, whew, when is this over? It was bad.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Batwheels can be better. So
Hopefully better than that. Yes, for sure. I'm
we'll
sure it
probably
will
check
be.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I think that is it. So thanks, guys, for joining us for this week in the Bat News. Kept it freeform this time because figured a lot of people were interested in our thoughts on different things, and I wanted to give my review on the Batman audio adventures because my 10 hours of service had to go somewhere. So
Yeah, 10 hours. It's good, man. There's some Batman audiobooks out there too. We can
Mhm.
maybe eventually do some on that.
Yeah, I definitely read. I mean, not read, but listened to the one that was an adaptation of the No Man's Land novelization, but with like a
Oh,
full
yeah.
cast and
That is
stuff.
great.
So
That's great.
that one is great. That one's way better than what I just heard on this. And then
Yeah.
there's a Nightfall one that I listened to way back that has Michael Goff and Return as Alfred in that. I think I might have mentioned that in other episodes. So
There's some that are like
there's so many
totally
different
new,
ones.
right? Not even based on comics.
Yeah,
But like
I mean, there's a
based
lot.
on a Batman book, like a short novel or a novel for young adult book or whatever the fuck. And
There's
then there's an
Wayne over
audiobook version
Gotham.
of that.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of like Batman audiobook type stuff that I've heard, or different produced audio dramas and all that. So we can go over some of those in another Patreon.
Let us know what you
Maybe.
think about that, guys, because that's really getting deep divey there.
Mhm.
And so let us know what you think about doing the audiobook
The
stuff.
audio deep dives, yes.
You want some granular niche shit? There it is.
Yep.
Okay, I guess
right.
that's it, huh?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thanks again, everybody, and see you later.
See ya.
All right, we're gonna stop that then.
It was easy.
Yep.
Yep. Can't always do this every week because we usually don't have this much Bat news, but it's good to have these every once in a while. Uh-oh. There you are.
I don't know what the fuck.